20th Century Fox presents Phantom of the Paradise, a gothic horror story.
What was that?
A beautiful love story.
Like a circus.
A cinematic odyssey through the rock universe. From Greece to glitter and beyond. The story of a sound, the man who created it, the girl who sang it, the monster who stole it, and the phantom who haunts the paradise, the ultimate rock palace. Phantom of the Paradise.
My music is for Phoenix. Only she can sing it. Anyone else that tries, dies.
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Well, you told me one time that you'd be somebody, that you weren't working just to survive.
B.
Snow! Whoa, whoa, wow! Man, you better get yourself a castrato for this.
Paul Williams as Swan.
And the angels that defeated them.
I want you to stop terrorizing the paradise and rewrite your cantata.
And the Phantom.
Stop and try me, only you might satisfy me,
Phantom of the Paradise.
There really is the Phantom.
Four tons of rock produce 1 ounce of the most precious metal in the world, gold. The blood, sweat, and tears required to produce this ounce of gold is the background to one of the most exciting stories ever filmed.
Well, it's 93 level. Looks like the whole damn drive's caved in.
What the hell was anyone doing blasting through at the 93 level?
12 men died down that mine, and Lemmer was one of them. What were they doing down 93 level?
They appeared to be going toward the dike.
The dike? What the hell was the idea?
Any dig through the dike would release that water under fantastic pressure. Enough water not just to destroy the Sonderditch, but the whole minefield.
In other words, gentlemen, the finishing touch to our scheme. World gold production cut by 30%, and inevitably, the price of gold freeze.
I told you to strike left, you ignorant!
You hit them because they can't hit back.
Teresa, you should congratulate Mr. Slater on his promotion.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Whom?
He doesn't deserve you.
But you do.
Excuse me. Hello?
Hello, Roy. I'm going to be alone over Christmas.
Good.
By the way, I'll be gone over Christmas.
I need time to think.
That is usually fatal.
When does Manfred get back?
All right.
You better not look too good. He might get suspicious. I wouldn't trust you with our cat.
Gold, a compelling story of romance. And the stark drama of man against man.
What are you doing?
Of man against nature. And their struggle for survival.
What the radio call in this later?
You got me out of the way at the right time, didn't you?
I'll stick you right down on your bloody mind.
What's the land? Clear the road!
You didn't think of that, did you?
He can't do anything. It's too late.
The story of a desperate gamble, of desperate men, blinded by the power of gold.
Let each of us study to improve ourselves.
Hey! Come back here in my car!
Which way we headed? We're good together.
You're 10 years too late.
You stick with me, kid. You're gonna live forever. Brought back some extra goodies.
Are you out of your mind?
Hang on!
Geronimo!
Now, do you want to talk or do you want to play games?
Why not do it again?
What's he mouthing off about now?
Montana Armor. We hit the same place, the same way.
There it is.
That's it?
20mm cannon with armor-piercing shells. At exactly 10:30, Goody, you're going to drop Lightfoot off in the alley behind the Liberty Lounge. The window's already been fixed, so you can just climb right in there and change your clothes. At 11:30, you get into the telegraph office, and you got to get in there before 11:35, because that's when the alarm goes off. You just keep quiet and nobody gets hurt, understand?
Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. That sounds like something, doesn't it?
I feel love all around.
Benji, a delightfully different motion picture starring Peter Breck, Christopher Conley, Patsy Garrett, Tom Lester, Mark Slade, Deborah Walley, and Herb Vigran, with special guest appearances by Francis Bavier, Edgar Buchanan, Terry Carter, and introducing Cynthia Smith, Alan Fusat, and the face critics are saying is more expressive than many actors in a picture of love and suspense from a dog's point of view.
It wasn't just like a typical Walt Disney dog movie. It was really a brilliant movie.
When you think of a dog show, you think old kids, but I enjoyed it. My parents enjoyed it, and everybody that went there enjoyed it.
I didn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. That's an incredible movie. It's a very good movie.
Dog movie? Oh no, it's not a dog movie. That dog has emotions. That dog is fantastic.
To tell you the truth, I went with the intention that I wasn't going to enjoy it since it was a kid's movie. And I really did enjoy it, and I came out of there, and I really felt touched. It was a heartwarming movie.
No, in fact, if my husband comes, I know he'll cry through the whole thing. I did.
I think this movie is a mixture of drama, excitement.
Oh, no, but it's not a dog picture. It's just got so much life.
I think it was great. It really was. It was just super.
pretty film. The scenery's pretty. The photography was just overwhelming.
It's kind of a love story. I'd see it every day. You know, I'd never get sick of it. Nobody would.
And it's for the kids, it's for the adults and the grandparents too. I mean, it's for everybody.
And the dog was a neat dog. You know, I felt when I left the movie, I felt that I knew that dog.
This is the ransom note. There weren't any fingerprints, and we haven't heard anything from handwriting yet.
How was it delivered?
Well, Doctor, would you mind going over it one more time, please?
Yes, I got a call at my office, supposedly from Cindy's school, that she had been in some sort of accident. They asked me if I could come right over to the nurse's office. When I went to the parking lot to get in my car, I found this pinned to the visor.
I see.
And have they called yet?
No.
Has there been any attempt to get a hold of you at all since you
No, we had a little trouble getting the phone.
No! Look out!
Liz Smith of Cosmopolitan says, everybody who's ever been loved by a dog will adore Benji. Variety says, a superior piece of family fare that should endear itself to every audience fortunate enough to catch it, and it should be caught. The Baltimore News American says, it sounds rash to say, but this dog can act. The Dallas Morning News says, there is no Oscar for animal actors, but perhaps they should create a special one for this remarkable performer. Family Circle says, thank goodness, the kind of movie that adults as well as kids will find utterly charming and entertaining. The St. Petersburg Independent says, I cannot think of anyone of any age who would not be entertained by this film. The National Observer says, Benji is obviously the most accomplished canine actor in America. The Richmond Times-Dispatch says, Joe Camp has brought to the screen what all America has been waiting for. Benji, the most talked about, highly acclaimed family picture of our time. Maybe of all time. A family film by Joe Camp. From Mulberry Square.
The Britannic, one of the last great ocean liners. On board, 1,200 passengers, planning to have the time of their lives, until Juggernaut.
My name is Juggernaut. I have placed 7 bombs aboard the Britannic. If you attempt to move them or disarm them, they will explode. Weather conditions make evacuation impossible. Unless you pay me £500,000 by dawn tomorrow, your ship will blow up.
Juggernaut. The greatest sea adventure of all time has just begun. The government is useless.
But it is the view of Her Majesty's government to resist extortion by terror.
The police are helpless.
Intelligence dug out 112 bomb design experts. Eliminating dead, aged, and infirm leaves us 46 possibilities.
The Navy is powerless.
If my ship were an aircraft in the sky, there'd be no question of playing with her life.
The situation is hopeless.
We're not paying.
It's 1,200 passengers and crew. Do you know a bigger game than that?
In 22 hours, 1,200 people will die, unless one man can save them. His name is Tony Fallon.
Fallon, the champion.
His rank is Chief Naval Bomb Expert.
It's my ship now, Captain. At least until dawn tomorrow.
His job is a tightrope between life and death.
Oh, you're a good man, Juggernaut. But so am I.
How do we defuse the bombs?
There's half a dozen triggers hidden away in here, all to be cut through before we reach the timer.
A man made those bombs, a man like us.
There's no current in the top blue wire or the white.
Is everything going to be smooth and beautiful?
Of course. Top blue. I don't even know the man and he's trying to kill me. Now the white?
But the gang! Oh!
Bottom blue. All passengers stand by lifeboats.
Look, I know how he's done it. Just one small step. I'm nearly there.
Cutting now. Richard Harris, Omar Sharif, David Hemmings, Anthony Hopkins, Shirley Knight, Clifton James, Roy Kinnear. Juggernaut, the greatest sea adventure of all time, has just begun.
Los Angeles, 1937. There are lots of guys like J.J. Gittes. They're easy to find, if you want to find them.
Mr. Gittes, have we ever met?
Well, no.
Never?
Never.
Since you agree with me that we've never met before, you must also agree with me that I've never hired you to do anything, certainly not spy on my husband. I don't get tough with anyone, Mr. Gittes. My lawyer does.
You do your job. And sometimes you find the answers to questions that should never be asked. Or you find out what happens to people who ask them.
Hold it there, kitty cat. You're a very nosy fellow, kitty cat, huh? You know what happens to nosy fellows?
I dislike the word cheat.
Did you have affairs?
Mr. Gittes.
Did he know about it? Where were you when your husband died? You were seeing someone too. For very long?
I don't see anyone for very long, Mr. Gittes. It's difficult for me.
Mr. Gittes, you're dealing with a disturbed woman who's just lost her husband. I don't want her taken advantage of.
The truth. I said I want the truth.
Jake. I'm doing you a favor. Come on, Jake.
Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown.
You get tough. You get tender. You get close to each other. Maybe you even get close to the truth. Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway in a Robert Evans production of a Roman Polanski film, Chinatown.
In the next few moments, we will try to give you an impression of a new kind of film experience. If your curiosity is aroused, you are ready for Phase 4.
They're sending back my message.
What does it mean?
This is no message.
If there's an intelligence there, I want it to know there's an intelligence here. I believe that they'll move rather quickly into desert areas, taking over the countryside first, then laying siege to towns and cities. We have only one chance. believe it. To know our plans, our strengths, our weaknesses. Why don't they kill us? What do they want?
How do you fight a force that knows what your next move will be before you think of it?
It's alive. It's alive.
Can you hear me? It can't be saved. It's gotta die.
It's alive. It's alive.
Why are you so anxious to be the one to do it?
It's alive.
Doctor! Demons out here!
It's alive.
Now, nobody knows how this thing happened. It's really a matter of speculation, and I think perhaps that's for the best. After all, if we find out that the cause is medication that we manufacture and it was administered over a long period of time, well,
what do your interests recommend?
Absolute destruction of this thing.
It went down the storm drains.
That's how it can travel the length of the city without anybody seeing it.
Don't touch me. Don't you touch me. They stole my baby. Go on, get down. Did you see it? Did you see it? What does it look like?
What are you
Get those cameras out of my face, please. I got no comment. That had nothing to do with this.
Will you get that thing out of my face? Get out of the way!
He could have killed you. You know why he didn't? You know why he didn't kill you?
Look out, Charlie!
You've never been exposed to radioactivity in radioactive material or undergone extensive x-rays?
No, Doctor, I told you.
Can't rule out genetic damage.
My department has already cautioned the police about excessive violence. If it could be dispatched with a bullet, or better still, some kind of a gas. Undoubtedly, it is very small, and any kind of bodily harm, especially from gunshots or explosives.
In other words, you want me to sign away the body, is that it?
Well, it's your right. After all, you are the child's father.
History of 2 generations of crime. The drama of absolute power and the men who violate it. The Godfather, Part 2.
What is your name?
Don Vito Corleone and his son Michael. Both had seen the ones they loved most cut down before their eyes. Both had killed as an act of vengeance. Both commanded the most powerful and merciless crime organization in the world.
Is it true that in the year 1950, you devised the murder of the heads of the so-called 5 families in New York?
It's a complete falsehood.
they would take any measures.
I mean, you won. You want to wipe everybody out?
I don't feel I have to wipe everybody out, Tom. Just my enemies.
Make any arrangement.
Michael, we're bigger than U.S. Steel.
Order any death. To protect the empire they controlled. The Godfather and his heir, both were men of ice, and both were targets.
They're still on the property. Please, Michael, please stay inside. Keep them alive. We'll try.
Michael! Alive!
The Godfather Part 2 is Sicily in 1921 and Nevada in 1958. It is revolution in Havana and rubouts in New York. It is manipulation.
It would be like trying to kill the president. There's no way we can get to him.
If anything in this life is certain, if history's taught us anything, it says you can kill anyone.
It is murder. And it is betrayal.
It was a son, and I had it killed because this must all end.
The Godfather Part 2 is the final chapter in the violent history of the Corleone crime family. It is the motion picture masterpiece of the year.
Enjoy a typical afternoon in New York City.
Groceries, man.
Hey, Mother.
My name is Paul Kersey. How's my life?
I'm sorry. She died a few minutes ago, Mr. Kersey.
Any chance of catching these men?
There's a chance, sure.
Just a chance.
I'd be less than honest if I gave you more hope, Mr. Kersey.
This is Paul Kersey. This is the story of a man who decided to clean up the most violent town in the world.
Listen, turn around. Hand me the money.
He begins where all the super cops leave off.
Mugging has gone down by how much, sir?
$9.50 a week to $4.70 reported last week.
You understand not too many people know that.
And you want to keep it that way, huh?
Oh, no, we have to keep it that way, Inspector. This whole city would explode.
And if this person is listening to my voice, I urge him in the name of law and order to desist from this one-man crusade and turn himself into the police.
Let's see the money, man.
Call him a mad vigilante. Call him a hero. Either way, he's always on target.
We want you to get out of New York. Permanently.
Never make a death wish. Because a death wish always comes true. And you get to love it.
It is the future. Mankind has conquered the stars. He moves out to the endless interstellar reaches of the universe. An advanced exploration corps. A new breed of pioneer must seek out unstable planets and destroy them.
Drive sequence begun. Hit it, Pinback.
And you are on the mission of the 21st century planet smashers. Dark Star. 20 years in space, 1 million light years from Earth. Their job is to clear a path for the colonization of space.
Back home in Malibu. I used to surf a lot, Talby. I used to be a great surfer.
Travel in an infinite universe with mind-melting excitement from beyond the stars.
Computer to bomb number 20. Return to the bomb bay immediately.
But I have received the operational signal.
Hello, Bob. Are you with me?
I wish I had more time.
Why don't you have more time?
Because I must detonate. I must detonate.
Commander Powell. Commander Powell, this is Doolittle. Can you hear me?
What happened, man?
Hey,
Confirm. Power drive signal attack, man. Roger, retracted. Lock all defensive systems.
Dark star. They're not lost in space. They're loose.
It's coming from the deep, dark recesses of the mind of Mel Brooks. I love him. Young Frankenstein.
Sky means business.
Young Frankenstein.
Oh dear, nothing left. What shall we throw in now?
Starring Gene Wilder as Dr. Frankenstein.
That's Frankenstein.
But what about your grandfather's work, sir? My grandfather's work was doo-doo!
Peter Boyle as the monster. Marty Feldman as Igor.
My grandfather used to work for your grandfather.
I'm sure we'll get along splendidly. Oh, sorry.
Cloris Leachman as Frau Blucher.
You played that music in the middle of the night? Yes! To get us into the laboratory? Yes! And it was you who left my grandfather's book out for me to find? Yes! So that I would? Yes! Then you and Victor were... Say it. He was my boyfriend!
Cary Garr as Inga.
Would you like to have a roll in the hay? Roll in the hay.
Kenneth Mars as the inspector. And Madeline Kahn as Elizabeth.
Where am I?
Calm down. What are you going to do to me? I'm not afraid of you. Listen, I have to be back by 11:30. I'm expecting a very important call.
Kill the monster! Storm the castle!
See Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein.
Yes, I think we could all use a good laugh.
But don't see it alone. Don't miss Young Frankenstein, personally directed by Mel Blazing Saddles Brooks, in black and white. No effects.
Universal has given Earthquake its maximum effort. Starting with a story and screenplay written by George Fox and Mario Puzo, author of The Godfather. Universal has enriched this fascinating drama of interwoven lives with a superb cast. Charlton Heston, Ava Gardner, George Kennedy, Lorne Greene, Genevieve Bujold, Richard Roundtree, Marjo Gortner, Barry Sullivan, plus the city of Los Angeles. and its millions of people living, loving, planning, fighting, until nature's most violent upheaval forces them to battle and claw for life itself.
Jim, Stuart Graff. She's done it again. Yeah, I think we'll get faster action if you call me.
I have to go to Oregon this summer. All summer on a hydroelectric project. Come up there.
They indicate another pre-shock, probably before noon today.
And if it happens?
Then the big one follows in 48 hours.
If this dam busts, there won't be nothing between here and Wilshire Boulevard left to burn.
Sadism and self-sacrifice, hysteria and mass emotion that will surround and engulf you completely and make you feel you are there.
You're all gonna have to help yourselves. Help me!
Listener Boyle need help too. I've got to try and find her.
Is she more important than me?
Get the hell out of here! Just break it up!
Good night. Wir wissen jetzt, wo du bist.
Now, join the most brilliant detective of all time,
Hercule Poirot,
on a mysterious journey down the Nile to the great wonders of the world, where the biggest wonder of them all is whodunit.
I feel the presence of evil all about me.
Agatha Christie's Death on the Nile, starring Peter Ustinov.
With me, it's the exercise of the little gray cells.
And 9 star suspects. Betty Davis.
You perfectly foul French upstart.
Belgian upstart, please, Mother.
Mia Farrow.
I just want to put this gun right against her head. And then ever so gently pull the trigger.
Angela Lansbury.
You see, I know all I tell you.
David Niven.
She must have known something about Annette Doyle's murderer.
Maggie Smith.
But why should I kill Mrs. Doyle?
George Kennedy.
You can't pin that on me.
Me?
Jack Warden.
So now you think that I?
Olivia Hussey. Lois Childs in Agatha Christie's
Jackie!
Death on the Nile.
You know, Poirot, the way I see it, everybody could have done it. And everybody had a reason for doing it. Of course. So you think you know, huh?
I know. This place is beginning to resemble a mortuary.
You see, we have been running in the wrong direction, you and I.
We know almost all there is to know, except that what we know seems incredible.
It's incredible.
Preposterous.
Outrageous.
Now, the most daring, the most deadly case of his career challenges Hercule Poirot.
It was carefully planned.
To guess who in the world done it.
But I, Hercule Poirot, have eyes which notice everything.
Mystery in first class. Murder with style. Agatha Christie's Death on the Nile.
When Foxy Brown comes to town, all the brothers gather round, 'cause she can really shake 'em down.
Foxy lady.
Pam Grier, that one chick hit squad who creamed you as coffee, is back to do a job on the mob as Foxy Brown.
You tell me who you want done, and I'll do the hell out of him.
A chick with drive who don't take no jive.
Woman, she's crazy. There's no telling what she'll do.
She's sweet brown sugar with a touch of spice.
If you see a man anywhere, send him in, because I do need a man.
And murder if you don't treat her nice.
Sounds like a public menace.
Sure do.
Foxy's got guts. No ifs, ands, or buts.
I better warn you, I got a black belt in karate. And I got my black belt in bar stools.
She won't budge when she carries a grudge.
I want justice for all of them, whose lives are bought and sold, so that a few big shots can climb up on their back.
Sister, I think what you're asking for is revenge.
So there ain't no hope for dudes who deal dope.
I swear, baby, I don't know what you're talking about.
We're gonna kill ourselves a couple of niggers.
Have no fear. Pam Grier is here as Foxy. Foxy Brown.
Airport, 1975. An all-new motion picture inspired by the film Airport, based on the novel by Arthur Haley. A dramatic new story with a cast of the screen's greatest names. Charlton Heston.
Damn! Brake pressure's dropping.
Karen Black.
I'm scared.
George Kennedy.
Want to wait for Sarah up there in that airplane. I'm going to Salt Lake City.
Gloria Swanson.
To hell with the jewelry. Let's put my book in here.
Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. Susan Clark. Comedian Sid Caesar. Myrna Loy. Linda Blair. And award-winning singer Helen Reddy as Sister Ruth.
Would you be more forgiving of your human imperfections if you realized your best friend was yourself?
You back in that same old kick about us?
Maybe I'm tired of one-night stands.
She's scheduled for a transplant in the kidneys in L.A. Now, we can't have her off the dialysis machine too long.
It had taken off as regular flight 409, Dulles Airport to LAX. Plane, the big one, the 747. All conditions normal. And then it happened.
This is Al, honey. I want you to sit in the pilot's seat and do exactly what I tell you. You mean the stewardess is flying the plane? We're gonna have to help the autopilot make it turn.
It's not working. There's nothing happening.
We're flying it to the mountains.
Everything will be just fine.
The only way is to put a pilot into 409.
You mean a mid-air transfer?
A jet helicopter is fast enough to keep up. We can put a man out on a tether.
The most dangerous mid-air rescue ever attempted. An incredible feat of flying and picture making.
was true. The most bizarre and brutal series of crimes in America.
Stop! Stop!
This is the movie that is just as real, just as close, just as terrifying as being there. Even if one of them survives, what will be left? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. After you stop screaming, you'll start talking about it.
This is no ordinary train. This is the legendary Orient Express, witness to many strange adventures and foreign intrigues. From Istanbul to Calais. This is no ordinary passenger.
Monsieur Poirot is a detective.
This is the world's most celebrated crime fighter.
I take a professional interest in crime.
Agatha Christie's brilliant Belgian detective.
Belgians? I always thought you were French.
Albert Finney is Detective Hercule Poirot. This is no ordinary mystery.
Touch nothing.
This is Agatha Christie's most perfect crime. Murder on the Orient Express. Starring the greatest cast of suspicious characters ever involved in murder.
The murderer is with us now. You can identify the murderer?
Lauren Bacall.
I mean nothing of the kind. I mean there was a man in my compartment last night.
Monsieur.
Martin Balsam.
She did it.
Thou shalt not kill.
Ingrid Bergman. Jacqueline Bisset.
He makes it sound like a poison.
Jean-Pierre Cassel.
Monsieur Hercule Poirot.
Sean Connery.
How did you know? Beddoes.
John Gielgud.
Mr. Beddoes. He did it. The butler did it.
Wendy Hiller.
You never smile, Madame de Francis.
My doctor has advised against it.
Anthony Perkins.
It seems like I'm kind of incriminating myself.
Vanessa Redgrave.
Not now. Not now. When it's all over, when it's behind us.
Rachel Roberts.
And I
Richard Widmark.
can show you this.
Michael York.
He did it.
The Who's Who in the Who Done It.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to my own reconstruction of the night of the murder.
Murder on the Orient Express.
Steve McQueen and Paul Newman race against time as one tiny spark becomes a night of blazing suspense. The Towering Inferno.
It's out of control, and it's coming your way.
Warner Brothers and 20th Century Fox present Irwin Allen's production of The Towering Inferno. Steve McQueen, Paul Newman, William Holden, Faye Dunaway, Fred Astaire, Susan Blakely, Richard Chamberlain, Jennifer Jones, O.J. Simpson, Robert Vaughn, and Robert Wagner. The Towering Inferno.
Those people are going to die up there if something's not done.
get you out of here.
So you can stop worrying about me. What about me down there worrying about you?
I'll never let you go anywhere without me again. I'll be back with the whole fire department.
The Towering Inferno.
Set me down on the scenic elevator.
Now, the producer of the Poseidon Adventure brings you more spectacle, more stars, more suspense than you've ever seen in one motion picture. Steve McQueen is the fire chief. Paul Newman is the architect. Step by step, floor by floor, this is a race against time to save hundreds of people trapped in a night of blazing suspense as the world's tallest building becomes the Towering Inferno. The Towering Inferno.